Hey viewers, have the next batch of Filipino Kids Book Reviews. I actually got all these books from betterworldbooks.com and it was my first experience buying, so I'll share a few thoughts about that experience. I don't know if they usually have free shipping. It might just be like certain promotions like I just happened to check out their website and see that they were offering like buy two get one free or something like that. So I got all these books for around $3-4 and free shipping. So that's a good deal in my literal books. I did not receive tracking this order, but they do send you a really cute email like from the book's point of view saying, "Holy cow, I can't believe I'm going to a new home," or something like that. Where is it? "I can't believe you actually picked me. You could have picked me over any of the 2 million books, but you picked me." So, no tracking number, but a cute email, really affordable, low price for hard to find books, in my case. So, maybe you're actually able to pay for higher shipping or method or tracking number or whatever. So, it's like with my beauty videos, it's just what you are willing to pay for and what your priorities are. The first book I'm going to talk about is Alphabetong Filipino, not Filipino as it is spelled with an F. But this is actually a book in Tagalog. It's an Adarna book, so this was actually published in the Philippines. So that's something you could potentially get from Better World Books. I don't know if it's like eBay or Amazon where it's just like random people selling their stuff, but I guess if you are in the market for Filipino books, it's a good site to keep in mind. This is basically an alphabet book with the Filipino alphabet. I didn't say who this is by. This is by or Tinipan ni Victoria Añonuevo. Oh god, I'm butchering it. But look, I have a better fancy camera now, so you could probably see what that says. Guhit ni Paul Eric Woka. So it's just an alphabet book, has a big picture of letters and examples of words, usually that start with those letters, but in some cases with the enye. Nothing really starts with those letters. They're just words with the enye. Or like with X. They're just words that have X's in them. Oh, like xylophone. And all of these words are like in English too, but most of the other words are in Tagalog. But like there are some words I couldn't figure out. Like obviously I don't speak Tagalog, but my mother doesn't even know what this is supposed to be. Kanyo? Like, what is this supposed to be? Oh, look at the little Hari. There's also the babaying with the little symbols or this kind of script alphabet. So that's interesting. So basically just an alphabet book. I honestly haven't looked at many other Filipino alphabet books, so I can't really say if this is better or worse, or if there are better ones than this out there. This is just what it seems to me, a basic book. I don't remember like the condition Better World book set this was, but this is kind of beat up. It seems to be an ex-library book from Toronto, but there's creases. This might be an actually old book too, but for $3 or $4, it's actually published in the Philippines. It's an Adarna book house. It's fine. The next book is also a Filipino book. Well, it's in Tagalog, called Ang Bagong Kaibigan ni Butiki. What does this mean? Like the new friend of... Oh, it says right here. Bing Butiki's new friend. Butiki is Lizard by Ina?
Yeah.
Ina
Reyes.
Reyes. Illustrated by Jason Moss. The illustrations honestly kind of remind me of like what's that dog's name?
What?
Courage the Cowardly Dog. There is a show on Cartoon Network called Courage the Cowardly Dog. This is in Tagalog, but there's also translations in it too, so that's good. It's about these lizards in a Lolo at Lola's house. And they're all just chilling on the ceiling. But then they hear the Lolo and Lola's son come, and they're all afraid of him because he used to torture them as a kid. But now he's grown and has his own kid, All the lizards are afraid, but Bing sees the son's cute little daughter, wants to be friends. I forget what else happens. And the little girl wants to take him home. Her dad is like, oh no, you gotta let the lizards be because they eat the flies or whatever. They eat the moths and mosquitoes. So they become friends, Bing and the little girl and the other little lizards. This book is in better condition than the alphabet book, but there's still a little rip in one of the pages. This is published by Reyes, Christian Values. So like, there's actually like a little Bible thing on the back, which I guess is fine if you are Catholic or whatever. Maybe it's preachy if you're raising your children to be secular Satanists. But the verse is Matthew 19:14. So it just says like, Jesus said, let the children come to the kingdom or something. So it's not anything too preachy, I think. But like I said, if you aren't raising your children to be particularly religious or particularly Christian, then make sure it's not a Reyes book or have verse on the back. Okay, the last book I got because I had checked it out from the library and actually loved it, so I decided I was gonna buy it no matter what, and that's why I pretty much decided to buy these two. And Better World Books was, I think, the cheapest place I could have got it. This one is in English. It's called Filipino Children's Favorite Stories by Liana Romulo and illustrated by Joanne De Leon. And it's pretty much what it says. A handful of, I guess, like folk tales or myth. I really like these illustrations. They're really cute and really emotive. They're like something you would want to share with your friends. Like, look at how cute this is. Or like when you go to a museum or whatever and you're like, mood or that TFW. This is the same picture, but it's really cute. Or like mood, TFW. And I really like the stories because at least there's a couple of them where it's basically like little things, little entities like lizards or dragonflies or whatever getting bullied by a big giant, and they basically team up to knock him out. What's not to love about a story like that? There's one story that's kind of like Cinderella. Two kids, father remarries a mean lady. She has her own mean kids. So the dad's kids run away. They come across a scary monster, but it gets knocked out. And then the father finds them and he's like, why did you run away? And they're like, she's mean. And then that's the end of the story. The dad is like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice. So I'm sure there are parts of other stories that I don't particularly care for, but I love stories that I think some of these stories teach good lessons. It's actually pretty long, 13 stories. There's one that's kind of like the, what is it, Turtle and the Hare with a deer and snail. And the snail essentially cheats. He gets his other snail friends to hide along the trail, so the deer thinks the snail is ahead and eventually wins. And the snail never comes clean and says, oh, it was just my friends. So I'm not really sure about that one. But some of them are just like cool creation stories, like how the Philippines was formed, or like a cute little crow or something getting the sky and ocean to fight. And the last one is about this prince that wants to marry a worm. The twist is, it's a beautiful lady who becomes beautiful because the love of a prince who didn't care what she looked like. But I could have done without that twist. Could have been that the worm is still a worm and is still nice. Like, why does that need to happen for the prince to like get a reward or something? But there's another story where there's this soldier is supposed to wake up early to tell his his higher up to tell him to get up early for their battle or whatever. But when he leaves his higher up's office, the other soldiers are asking him, what's the plan? What's going on? Why are you in his office? And so he stays up late gossiping. And so he wakes up late and his higher up misses the plan, the battle or whatever. So the god of war, who is the higher up, turns him into a chicken for gossiping and like making excuses. Oh, I tried to go to bed early, but it's not my fault. So I think that teaches a good lesson of not yammering and yakking and then making excuses about how things aren't your fault. There's another story where this guy loses his axe head in the lake, so the goddess of the lake helps him. Since he didn't lie, she rewards him. But then some other guy is like, maybe if I accidentally lose my axe head, I will get a golden axe too. But since he's a liar, the goddess punishes him and he just loses both of his axes. See, this is what happens to you when you're a liar. I like those lessons, so that's why I decided to get this book, actually buy this book, and the other two were just lucky enough to be purchased along with it. Better World Books, definitely a good option to consider if you are looking for books, especially maybe harder to find books. Thanks for watching this video. Check out my past reviews and subscribe to make sure you get a heads up when new reviews are posted. Head over to my Instagram for garbage I cut out from this and my blog for a more thorough review and information and all the other fun stuff I blog about. Thanks for viewing. Bye!